You're watching community television on Time Warner Cable TV 15.
Welcome to Community Connections. I'm your host, Brittany Shea. In today's society, things are becoming more and more violent, and we really need to find ways to protect ourselves. We're going to be discussing just that on today's show, where we come to you from Belvin Eaves Taekwondo Institute on Park Road. We're going to learn how to protect ourselves, stay in shape, and have fun doing it. You won't want to miss this one, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Today we're talking with Belvin Eaves, the owner of Belvin Eaves Institute of Taekwondo. Thanks for being with us today, Belvin. If we can go backwards for a moment and you could tell us a little about your background and how you got started in the martial arts and how it's affected your life.
Well, I got started in it the mid-'60s. You remember the Green Hornet?
I won't admit to that. I
Well,
vaguely remember hearing something about that.
Okay, well, Bruce Lee and the Green Hornet got me started, and it's just been my life ever since. Okay, and I've practiced for just a number of years to, you know, just to try to master techniques that I've seen him do and that sort of thing. But because he practiced a slightly different style and system, my techniques had to be a little bit different as well, but I still wanted to be able to perform as he did.
And is there any particular instructor throughout your years that stands out in your mind as being outstanding or that really influenced you?
Well, there's one person that stands out in my mind that that I admired as far as martial arts is concerned, and that is Jun Rhee, and he's in Washington, D.C. He was had a very innovative mind, and he was very receptive to a lot of ideas and concepts.
I
which
recall
improved,
hearing
the martial
that
arts.
name before.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, how has the martial arts influenced your life, especially, I'm assuming you were a young child when you had started, so especially through your teen years, do you think that it's influenced you at all or helped you get through those years, whereas you might have reacted differently if you weren't in the martial arts?
Yeah, earlier in life, people would always tell me what I couldn't do and that sort of thing, and this gave me the ability to say that I could or I can, and that was one of the bigger things that it did for me. Okay, the extra, how do you say, the self-esteem and that sort of thing, okay, and confidence.
Right. Now, I understand that that's a big part of martial arts as well. I know a lot of people, when they hear martial arts, the first thing and the only thing they tend to think about is the fighting aspect of it. But I also know that self-esteem and self-control, respect, all those things also enter into that. How does that enter into your teaching here at the school?
Well, I teach the kids to have that respect. We have them listen to all the commands, and in order to do so, they have to concentrate. And in concentration, it instills a great deal of respect. All right, because what happens is that if they don't concentrate, and then when it's time for them to perform, and they're not able to perform, then it kind of dilutes the effort that was put forth. So they tend to concentrate a little bit more, and then it kind of boosts their confidence level and that sort of thing, and then they start to feel good about themselves, and that's one of the things that we do. We stress that they pay close attention and concentrate, and that's one of the things that we do because it really helps them in the overall aspect.
Now we were talking children, but what is the age level that you take children here, and what is the oldest student you have?
Well, we advertise that we take the students as young as 4. And the oldest that we have, we've had them as old as 65, okay, and currently the oldest student we have is, he's 56.
Yes,
and
I had seen him working out earlier we've
Okay.
got footage of that.
I may be pushing a year or two, maybe 55.
Okay,
but-
we don't want to do
okay.
that. Don't age them. Do you find that you get a lot of families coming in here, parents with their children and that sort of thing, or is it more so young children that you get?
Well, we do have families, and but the majority of our program is children. We have families that come in at on the weekends and that sort of thing to participate with their children and that sort of thing. Well, excuse me, parents come with their children to participate. So the weekends is usually the family times that we have, but even though we have times set aside during the week for them too, but majority of them will come on the weekends.
Now, you had mentioned commands earlier. Taekwondo, first of all, could you explain to our viewers what Taekwondo means?
Sure. Taekwondo is a little more descriptive definition for the art as opposed to karate. The word Tai means kicking with the foot. The word Kwon means punching with the fist. Okay, and Do is the art or method of smashing with the foot and the feet. Okay, and karate, basically it means empty hand. Okay.
Now, Taekwondo, that's a Korean art, correct?
That is correct.
Now, with your commands in your classroom, do you use the Korean terminology, or do you tend to stick with the American?
With the English, no, we use the Korean terminology that in essence also enhances the student's ability to concentrate and build their confidence and that sort of thing as well.
Now, also, I noticed some of your students doing what is called patterns. Could you explain what that is? I know probably our viewing audience, if they've seen anything like that, like in the movies, and that's probably where they get most of their information from, and they might see someone practicing what appears to be a senseless little routine that may be like a dance routine or something to them. What is the meaning and the purpose for those sort of things? Explain what a pattern is and why we do them.
Okay, the meaning behind the pattern is that you're fighting an imaginary opponent, okay? And you're performing in various directions. For instance, you have the four walls here, and there are patterns that are designed to go in each direction, all four directions. And then also, it is designed to condition the body as well, because you're having to twist, turn, torque, okay, and use a lot of extra energies that normally you wouldn't be doing, all right? And so if you watch these patterns closely, you can almost see the opponent that they're fighting, all right? Because they're turning in a particular direction and block, punch, and or kick, okay?
Now, so even when they're making these smooth movements and all, that's still actually either a defensive or offensive move that they're making, excuse me.
Excuse me, as they make the smooth movements, it's
Yeah,
either
is
defensive
that
or
because
offensive.
you're talking
It's
punches,
both,
people
yeah.
are you know, thinking in
Exactly.
different terms, and some of these movements that they make are very fluid and beautiful, and that still is some sort of either offensive or defensive
That is
movement,
correct. That's correct, okay?
I see. So now you had mentioned conditioning. That's another great part of the martial arts. I'm assuming that it's an overall fitness for the body and the mind. Is that correct?
That is very correct, and that's one of the reasons I do it myself, because it's been so beneficial for me in that aspect. And then also with the students, the longer they stay with it and continue to practice, the more proficient and more conditioned with the body and mind that they become.
Now, I had mentioned earlier in the introduction about our violent society and how things are getting very dangerous in the street. Do you find that you're getting a lot of adults, especially adult women, coming in because they're wanting to learn how to protect themselves in the streets?
Yes, we have several adult women. As a matter of fact, my highest rank are women.
Great.
Yeah,
That's
believe it or
great to
not.
hear.
Yeah, and have several black belt ladies in my program, and they come because of the conditioning as well as the self-defense. It's a combination of all the things that we do, basically. But I think more so it's for the conditioning and the self-defense.
So do you have special classes as well that you just teach strictly self-defense, whereas if a lady would want to come in and perhaps she doesn't want to go through the whole belt ranking system and all that. Maybe she just wants to come in and get some basic self-defense courses. Do you offer that as well?
Yes, we have that, as well as we have video cassettes for
great.
self-defense as well.
That's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone that comes and enrolls can purchase these cassettes?
That's correct.
Okay, great. Now, also, speaking of the violence in our society, our young teens nowadays, I mean, it's to the point where they're afraid to go to high school, and it's not like it was when we were growing up. You know, if they got into a fight, they got into a fight. They used their fists. Now they're using guns and knives and whatever else they can get their hands on. Do you get a lot of teens in here, and has there ever been a situation whereas you've had a youngster come in that perhaps had a bit of an attitude or problems in school and that, and you've seen him turn around, or you've been a part of that? Have you experienced anything like that?
Yes, I have, and as a matter of fact, just yesterday, there was a young man that came in. He's only 17, and he's in high school, and he mentioned that he was having problems with someone that had tried to mug him and that sort of thing, and we talked, and just from our conversation, he was enlightened as to what could happen and what he could do to prevent things from happening and that sort of thing. And I've seen a lot of students turn themselves around after coming into the program, whereas it was items that they were not aware of that they could do, just common knowledge items, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's been very beneficial to a lot of the kids that's been exposed or subjected to such environments.
Mm-hmm. And we had spoken to your son also earlier and asked him, because you had gotten him started at age 4, is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you find that had helped him throughout the years as he was growing up in his academic life, and as well as his personal life with his peers, and kept him out of certain situations that he might otherwise have gotten involved in?
Yes, I can really credit the martial arts to that, because had it not been for the martial arts, really it's like I was talking earlier, you could have gone in other directions and that sort of thing, but it still is a great deal of discipline.
Right.
Okay, and it has really helped him, and academically as well as physically.
Now, what would you say to people that come in and say, well, I'm already an athlete, I'm in great shape, and I know how to fight, I can take care of myself. What would you say to someone like that? What can this program offer a person like that?
Well, I enjoy people coming in like that, because once they experience an introduction to our program, they realize that the abilities they thought they had, they really don't. They're not they're not able to perform as they thought they would be able to, and it's a different twist. It makes them have a totally different appreciation for what we do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Well, I know throughout our conversation, our viewing audience has seen some clips of your students, especially your young ones. I know earlier we had some clips on the sparring. Could you explain quickly a little about what the sparring is and the equipment that they were wearing and that sort of thing?
Okay, sure. Now the sparring, what it does, it enables them to practice with a partner the kicks and punches that they've been performing, even in the patterns, the formal exercise that we were speaking of earlier. Also, we have prearranged movements that we practice, and so this gives them the liberty to practice them kind of in freelance fashion, so to speak, okay? And they are to control the techniques. Basically, what they don't want to do is make excessive contact, and also we teach them not to really hit to the head and that sort of thing, but control the techniques to the head. But they can touch the body because they have all the equipment on, and they want to feel what it's like to actually touch an opponent, but then they don't want to, have any excessive contact with their partners, because we want them to come back the next day and practice.
All intact, right?
Right.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Well, we're going to take a short break right now. Stay tuned.
going to do is have the kids to spar with each other, and they will learn street self-defense techniques in the sparring that they're going to do now. And the sparring that they will do will be a sport-type sparring, and they're not allowed to kick or punch in the head because of their classmates. They have to come back and practice tomorrow. But then also, in performing the techniques that they're going to perform, they will be able to defend themselves in a lot of situations that normally they would not have been, okay? You will see the kids, they will kick, the majority of the kicks will go to the body shields. The body shields have red and blue sides. They have to kick in the red and or the blue. Now, they can only punch or kick close to the head. They're not supposed to make head contact, but accidents do happen. That's why they wear the safety headgear, okay? The other thing, too, is that they have the safety hands, safety feet. That is designed for the student's safety as well. And we want to prevent as many bruises and bumps as we can, but then that's inevitable. They're going to get those. But then this is why we have all the safety equipment on, and we take the precautions to keep the kids safe. All right? Thank you.
You gotta do your number on. Ready? Go. You got 1 minute. Break! Come on. Back in the middle. Come on. All right, judges, vote. 1 point. Ready? Go. Break! Come on. Judges, vote. Score is 2. Ready? Go. Break! Come on. Judges, vote. I'm calling for an infraction. Excessive contact. No point. Ready? Go. Break! Break! Come on. Back in the middle. Judges, vote. Close enough. You called there. No point. Ready? Go. Break! Come on. Judges, vote. 1. Scores 3. Oh, go. Break! Judges, vote. Scores 4. Oh. Ready? Go. Break! That's his kick. Judges, vote. Scores 5. Oh, match. Right, spaceman. Yeah. Each other. Yeah. Shake hands and say. Good job. All right, give him a hand, guys.
No, this is not a Ninja Turtle you are looking at right now. It is the youngest student here at Belvin Eaves Taekwondo Institute, and this is his mother with us. Thanks for being with us. Could you tell us your name and this adorable young man's name?
My name is Heather McNally, and this is Forrest McNally, and he's 3 years old. He started about 5 months ago at the University Place, and he's enjoyed coming and learning and being with other kids.
And why did you put him into martial arts?
Because he liked to watch the Power Rangers, and he was doing karate all through the house all the time, and I asked him if he would like to get into a karate class, and so he could know what to do properly.
And what sort of change have you seen in him within the last 5 months that he's been studying?
He listens better. He will sit. If I ask him to sit down, he'll sit down. He's 3 years old, and so he's going to be a 3-year-old, but
Oh, yeah.
he's getting better.
So what would you like to tell our viewers about martial arts? Nothing? Okay. Can you say hello?
Hello.
Thank you.
Go. Break. Back in the middle. Judges, vote. 1 point. Ready? Go. Break. Back in the middle. Judges, vote. 1 scores 2. Ready? Go. Break. Judges, vote. 1, 2, go. Break. Back in the middle. Judges, vote. 1 point. 3, 1, go. Break. Back in the middle. Judges, vote. 3 point hit kick scores 4, 3, go. Break. Back in the middle. Judges, vote. 1 scores 4, 4. Next point wins. Go. Break. Judges, vote. 2 point kick. Match. Right space here. Pinye. Each other. Pinye. Shake hands and say. Good job. Have a seat.
Now we're speaking with Son and Eve's son, Gino. Thanks for being with us, Gino. Tell us how old you were when your father got you started in martial arts and how you've benefited and what it was like growing up with this all around you.
Oh, well, when I started, I was about 4 years old, and it was, back then, I was just having fun with it and everything, and my father knew that I was having fun with it because I was always running around doing karate and everything, so it was always enjoyable for me, and it wasn't really anything different for me to see everybody in the class or people around my father that does karate or anything. It was just like a natural thing since I've seen it for so long, and it's always been a fun experience for me.
And you were having so much fun, you didn't even realize you were learning something, did you?
I mean, that's everything, all the sports that I do, whatever I do, I just try to have fun with it, and if whatever I learn from it, it comes from having fun. So that's
And do you see any difference between yourself and some of the peers that you go to school with as far as discipline and
Yeah, a lot of them, they like to talk a lot when it comes down to, like, they say who can beat who or whatever, and I just stand there and listen. I don't really say anything because I know, well, that's your opinion and everything, so I don't really have to say anything to them. I try to change the subject or whatever, so.
good for you. Good for you. Well, thanks so much, Gene.
All right, no problem.
Okay, this will be the abduction scene, and this is the answer to the question that you had a moment ago about what would happen if, all right? This is Miss Breckman, and this is Mr. Jason Woodyard. They're going to demonstrate this.
Right? Go get him. You didn't kick him. You gotta hit him. You gotta hit him. Go strong. Go strong. Go. Go. Yeah. Good. You got a shot with it. Go. Okay. Come on back here. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Ow!
Here we have two of Simon and Eve's younger students with us. Tell us your name and age.
I'm Alex Woodyard, and I've been here for half a year and a month, and I'm 8 years old.
Okay, and how about you?
My name is Clay Thornton, and I've been here for about a year, and I am 8 years old.
Okay, great. And what do you think that you've learned since you've been here?
My favorite kick.
Your favorite kick? Did you learn anything else? Did you grow at all? Learn self-esteem, confidence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how about you? What do you feel that you've gained from being here?
Discipline and self-control.
That's great. Now, I understand that you both have a favorite kick that you like to show us. Okay, so I'm going to step back and let you two do that. Could you tell us your name, age, and how long you've been studying with Simon and Eaves?
My name's Bob Phillips. I've been studying for 2.5 years. And let's see, what else you have?
Your age.
And my age is 55.
That's great. You're living proof that it's never too late to get into martial arts. So why did you start studying martial arts?
Well, I started for the cardiovascular. I had triple bypass surgery 3 years ago.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I did it for the cardiovascular exercise. And it's helped me tremendously.
That's great. What sort of benefits have you gotten since you've been into martial arts?
Well, it's a lot of things. It gives you a lot of, I don't know how to explain it. It takes a lot of stress off of you. It teaches you how to relax, how to use self-control. That's about it, but that's a lot.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, congratulations, and you
Thank
keep
you.
up the great work.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
This is little Mr. McClary, and as you can see, he has an item on his head. This is called a head guard, okay? Let's turn you toward the camera. All right, and this is actually foam-dip rubber, okay? And we put this on the head for good protection, and also he has holes in it for air circulation. These are called the punches, and these are to protect from the bare knuckle hitting the skin. This is the body shield. This is to protect him from excessive contact, okay? And then also this here are called kicks. And this is to protect from actual flesh-to-flesh contact, all right, as far as preventing a lot of injuries. So, and also they have, the guys have to wear the protective athletic cup and supports in case of low kicks. And he also has, in his mouth, do you have? He has teeth. All right, but he wears the mouth guard as well for protection, just in case one of the techniques get a little carried away.
Well, that's all for today, and I'd like to thank you for joining us. I'd especially like to thank Belvin Eaves and all his students for being part of this show. I've really learned a lot, and I hope you did too. So until next time, this is Brittany Shea for Community Connections. Is there something you wanted to tell our viewers, boys?